What's up, everyone? Leo here. So, it's been a while since I posted to YouTube. I'm trying to get back into it. I'm starting with this wicking tutorial that everybody's been requesting. I've been using this wicking method for the past year or so, and it's been working out awesome. But yeah, I'm going to try to remain more active on YouTube, try to focus more on it again, and hopefully provide you guys with a lot more informational videos. Anywho, you guys might have noticed I already have a wick installed. That's because I tried recording this before and my camera decided to crap out. So here we go. You guys don't need to see me install both wicks anyways. I will be using Cotton Bacon V2 today. It's my favorite cotton, the version 2 particularly because it has no break-in time. Very simple to use, just peel off what you need and get on your way. Okay, what I did, what I tried to show you guys when I was trying to record this before was when I'm measuring out how much cotton I need, I kind of like to put it next to the coil to kind of visually gauge about how much I'll need. Then I just cut the strip in half, so I have 2 pieces of wick for wicking a dual coil. This is a dual 18 gauge anarchist build, by the way. It's 6 wraps around a 7/64. Ohms out to about 0.08. It is very low, so if you're not an experienced builder, if you don't know your battery safety, I do not recommend it. I've been building for about 2 years and I'm pretty comfortable, with this, and I assume the risk associated with building this low. Anyhow, let's get to the wicking. I just take one end and I like to twist it up to so I can fit it through the coil. And in this video, I'm going to be doing my between post, cross wicking, whatever you want to call it. So the side that I don't have twisted is the side that will be going between the post. So depending on which way you want to tuck between the post, just be conscious of where you have the fluffy end, because that's the end that I like to put between the post. As for the amount of cotton I'm putting in between the coil, this is a thick gauge, very low resistance. Therefore, I'm going to get a lot of heat out of this thing. And what happens to your wick when you're vaping on higher heat builds? The cotton collapses fairly quickly. So in order to compensate for that cotton collapse, I like to put it in there tight, not snug, but tight. So even though my wicking style takes a little longer to break in, when it finally does break in, when the cotton should be collapsing to where the cotton is now snug in the coil, which is exactly what I want. Because if you start out snug, after the cotton collapse, it's gonna be too loose inside the coil. And typically, I can run my wicks, depending on the juice, a good 3 to 4 days, which is awesome. And lately I've been the lazy type of builder where I just build a coil, let it sit for a few months, and just change out the wick every few days. I'm not the type of person that wicks every single day unless I have really, really gunky juice. Just to give you an idea of how tight it is inside the coil, if this was say 24 gauge or 26 gauge, when I'm attempting to pull the wick through, I probably would warp my coils. Actually, without a doubt, it would warp the coil. So just to give you an idea of how tight I have it in there. So there we go. I have both wicks installed. I kind of like to try to fluff up this twisted end as much as possible. And what I like to do from this point is, because we're going to do this cross wicking method, it's like to pull the fluffy end across the opposite coil. Now to measure out how much tail I want left over, I place my scissors right on top of the other coil about halfway. Pull the cotton through the scissors and just, there you go. So now I have a good amount there when it gets tucked behind there. Do the same thing to the other side, obviously. And then sometimes I get really OCD and I have to measure it out, but I'll try not to do all that OCD crap in this video. Okay, as for this other end, I like to kind of pull it over and kind of like measure out where I'm going to cut it. So I want to cut it like right, you know, almost the entire length of the coil. It's going to need to be cut right about there. Same thing for the other side. Oops, cut this end a little too short. Oh well. That's okay. Nothing ever goes right in tutorial videos. Alright. There we go. My cotton is ready to be tucked. My favorite tool for tucking cotton, or whatever. Eyeglass screwdriver. This is a screwdriver that came with a eyeglass repair kit. It's the smallest I can find. It's a flathead. It's perfect for, you know, tucking your cotton in, especially, you know, this cross-wicking method. So from here, just take one of the tails that you're going to put between the posts, and I just tuck it there, tuck it down between. I like to try to keep my fibers, you know, going that way. I don't just sit there and, you know, just jam it in there. That's probably my OCD. You probably don't really need to do that. It's just something that's me personally I like to do. And then from there, all you're doing is just tucking it down behind the coil. Yes, I do take my time with wicking. I also take time with building. Again, that's just my OCD. Alright, so just like that. Hopefully the camera, I don't know if the camera's catching this or not, but as you can see, the cotton that I tucked there is not under the coil. A lot of people think I'm tucking it between the posts and then under this coil. I'm not. And if it is under the coil, I kind of like to push it back. Okay, and then from that point on, it's just, you know, making it look pretty. You don't have to. I like to tidy it up as much as possible. I'm sorry if I go out of the camera's view in a couple of these frames, but I'm trying guys. Alright, do the same thing for the other side. And sometimes when you're doing that, you'll notice you didn't quite cut enough off. You can just trim it, because that's too much cotton right there. Now, I've heard people say or ask me what the point of this is. Why I do this method. I do this method only for my like lower gauge, thicker wires, and you know, especially builds that I'm gonna run on series or like those high wattage regulated mods. I do that because I find that this wicking style gives me a lot more pulls off of it. Because just like I always used to say when I do my regular just under the coil tuck, is your coils aren't just heating up in the middle. It's heating up on the outside too. So when you have cotton, when you have these tails touching the coil, opposite coils, you know, the juice there is also getting vaporized. It also helps to keep the coil cooler, and which is, you know, important to me when I'm running like, you know, those massive surface area builds that I run on my series. You know, I want to keep the coil cool. I don't want to overheat, you know, the cotton that's in the middle. And I find that tucking it between the posts not only gives me more juice capacity, which allows me to get more pulls out of it, but also helps keep the coil cooler. And I don't know if some of you guys who follow me on Facebook, you guys might have seen my video that I posted recently of a 10 wrap 18 gauge Anarchist that I ran on my series Woody box. And if you notice in the video, I had got like 6 pulls out of it, 6 full pulls out of it. And it's all thanks to this wicking method. All right, all I'm doing here is just, you know, again, my OCD. I've said that like a million times in this video. I apologize. But it's just, I like to make it look nice and neat. Nice and presentable. Alright, so now I got the tails tucked between the post. Tuck it down, I made sure it's not under the coil. The reason I do that is because I'm going to tuck the opposite tail under the coil. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but I try to keep my, the cotton fibers going in one direction. So even when I'm tucking, I'm not just jamming it under there. I'm trying to get because the fibers are going this way. So I try to get it tucked nice and even under the coil. I can't talk today. It's early morning, and I might have been drinking last night. There we go. And notice how the cotton I tuck under the coil isn't exactly touching it. When I tuck it under, I like to kind of jam it down. And even after I saturate it with juice, I'll press down on that cotton. That's just to, give it a little breathing room right there. And hopefully you can also see on the video that the side that gets tucked under the coil isn't covering the entire area of the well. I like to leave some space there. Do this on the opposite side, and I'll be done. And there we go. That is how I've been wicking my setup. Cross wicking, between post wicking, broken S wicking, I don't care what you guys call it. But that's the way I do it. It's the way I've been doing it for a year. And it's my favorite type of wicking for low resistance builds. Hope this video was informative. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention that obviously, not every RDA is going to allow you to wick this way. Take this Dripper 30, for example. Get the cap off. This Dripper 30 has like a square or center post block, and I can't exactly wick the way I usually do on that, which, it's cool anyways. I found a different method. It's still between the posts, but then I wrap it around. So you can see it kind of has that swirl there. This is that 10 wrap 18 gauge Anarchist build I was telling you about on my series Woody box. And pretty much I would do it the exact same way, except this block allows me to kind of wrap the cotton around the entire block. This cotton is now 3 days old, and it still works just fine. Look at that. Beautiful. Anyways, this video is now gonna conclude. Again, hope you guys found this informational. Try it out. Let me know what you guys think, whether on Facebook or YouTube comments, whatever floats your boat. Until next time, guys, thank you.